Welcome to Over 40 Fabulous and Pregnant. This is episode 4. I'm your host, Jamie Massey, and the mission of the show is to help celebrate and support women in their 40s pregnancy journey. While we do discuss medical treatment and medicine, we are not doctors. These are women's experiences and should not be taken as medical advice. On today's show, we have Kearie from California. She turned 40 in July while she was pregnant with the 9th child. While she has kids of her own, she has been a surrogate 5 times, and one of those were twins. It's such a fascinating story. She did forget to mention that for her job, she is a case manager for a surrogacy agency called Giving Tree Surrogacy. So her job is literally to help surrogates and the intended parents through their journey from being matched until birth. I honestly learned so much in this episode, and her dedication to helping creating families is truly inspiring. Don't forget, all the products that we talk about in this episode can be found in the show note. And with that, let's go. Kearie, welcome to Over 40 Fabulous and Pregnant.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, where you're from, kids, etc., hobbies, interests?
Sure. My name's Kearie. I am originally from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I moved to Southern California many years ago in my early 20s. I have a husband, and yes, I'm originally from Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I moved to Southern California in my early 20s. I live with my husband, my 2 small dogs, and one of my adult sons. I have 3 adult kiddos. The oldest lives with his girlfriend, and my youngest is my daughter, and she lives in Florida she's going to college. I'm 41 right now, and my hobbies, I absolutely love scrapbooking our family photos. Yeah, that's me.
So, are you pregnant right now?
No, currently not.
But you were pregnant during your 40th birthday.
I was. I spent my 40th birthday. We rented an Airbnb with the 3 kids and my husband and one of my dogs. I was 21 weeks pregnant. It was my 8th pregnancy, 9th baby.
Oh my gosh. That's so amazing. So you've only had one kid in your 40s.
Correct.
And tell everyone you've gone through 5 surrogacy pregnancies.
Yep, that's correct. I had my 3 kids. My 3 kids were under 5 years old, and I was 23. And then I did 5 surrogacy journeys. My 5th was during my 40th.
That's so cool. And so what inspired you to become a surrogate?
My 3 pregnancies with my kids were very easy and no complications, not even much nausea in the beginning. My births were each very fast. No real time for epidural, kind of fast.
How nice.
And yeah, there was a couple in our church when I was a teenager, and they were exploring the idea of surrogacy, and ultimately they ended up adopting, but that's sort of, where it started in my thoughts. And yeah, it went from there.
So how did you get connected with your first couple?
I went through an agency. The surrogacy
Oh,
agency helps connect and, organize each step of the way.
okay. So even if we wanted to get a surrogate, we would probably go through an agency, and that's how we would find you.
Yeah, it's usually the easiest, just because a surrogacy agency can help guide the entire journey. If
Mm-hmm.
you try to find a surrogate independently, you're on your own for everything.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
So I'm sure it's a little bit harder to navigate.
Hmm.
And I guess,
Much.
is there like an agreement that you have, almost like if you're adopting kind of a thing?
Yeah, there's you go through the legal stage, so you have an attorney as a surrogate and the parents have their own attorney, and you
Mm-hmm.
sign and notarize contracts. And then later the attorneys work with the courts for the birth certificate paperwork.
Uh-huh.
That way the surrogate's name is not put on the birth certificate.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So, do they get involved on how you eat and how you have birth, that sort of thing?
Certain things are included in the contract. Each parents are different. Each contract is essentially different. Each clinic and OB
Mm-hmm.
is different. But in general, the contracts usually say a few things about your diet. I believe it's usually in there about ham. There's like certain lunch meats because of bacteria and cheeses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you have to
Fascinating.
eat healthy. You have to, keep yourself healthy, take your prenatal vitamins, that sort of thing.
Sure. So, I guess when you get pregnant, you do, I guess, an IUI.
IVF.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, they have an already embryo that they
Yes.
implant.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, that's
That
fascinating.
way,
Is that,
I was just going to say that way the entire genetics of the embryo is not related to the surrogate.
mm-hmm,
There
that
are
makes total sense.
Yeah, there's another type of surrogacy. It's called traditional surrogacy. That's like you were saying, IUI, where they use the surrogate's egg. They time it for
Mm-hmm,
ovulation and stuff. But that's not common, only because the embryo, eventually baby, will be related to the surrogate, and essentially that would be adoption. There's
mm,
just too much liability and complications that can arise after birth. So
uh-huh.
it's not very common. And most agencies don't facilitate that either.
Yeah, that makes total
Yeah.
sense. So, when during your pregnancy, how different was this in your 40s than it was previously?
Um, every pregnancy is definitely different. Um, this one was a little less energy for sure.
Uh-huh.
But, a body in motion stays in motion. So if you give in to that, exhaustion, I just personally feel like you're going to feel more exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's good to stay active, walk around, just not just your house, take a walk around the block. Eventually, towards the very end, my intended mother came to California and we would go on hikes together. Um,
Oh,
it's
neat.
healthy, it's good for the fresh air, it's good for your body, it's good for
Yeah.
circulation. Um,
Yeah, it's also a good bonding time too.
yes, definitely, definitely.
So, how much communication or how do you communicate to the intended parents during your pregnancy?
Each one was different. For example, my first, we mostly talked through email. Currently, we're on Facebook together. My other journeys, they lived in China, so we would communicate through an app called WeChat.
Wow.
And this one, they're domestic, so they live in Texas, and we just text and call, video chat.
Now, China, do they not have surrogacies in China?
No, they usually come to America, or more specifically California, to look for a surrogate. The laws in China and other countries as well aren't so favoritism towards, it's kind of frowned upon.
I had no idea. That's so fascinating.
Yeah. Some of the states here are also like that. The laws are very specific, and I think in Canada you cannot receive compensation. Every country, and ultimately here in the States, each one has their own laws, and yeah, it's complicated. That's why you have to have attorneys involved.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it seems more complicated than adoption to me. Do you agree?
I'm not entirely sure, only because with adoption, I'm not really familiar with adoption process. But they each have their own, specifics and rules and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So did the intended parents know the sex when it was, at the embryo stage?
You can have genetic testing done on the embryo to know ahead of time. My very first, they did not. And then I think back then it wasn't so common. My first was in 2011, so I don't think genetic testing was, very common and done. But then by my second, I had her in 2015, and each one had genetic testing on it, on the embryo, and so they knew genetically that, the baby was supposed to be okay. There's like this teeny tiny little, maybe 0.1% chance that the genetic testing is inaccurate. So that's why you have to do more genetic testing while you're pregnant. But yeah.
Fascinating. We're going to do IVF, and I just can't decide. Like, do we want to know? Because I don't think I want to know. But, you can know from pretty much day one.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a little tidbit. We have embryos created and stored, me and my husband, just in case we're unsure. I've always taken one pregnancy at a time. And now the other kids, they're all grown, and now we're contemplating what are our next steps.
Ooh, how fun.
So we have embryos. And we do know the gender, the genders. We're just unsure yet, if we want to move forward or not. It's a big thing. It's a big step.
Tell me, when did you have your egg retrieval? Like, how old were you?
Let me think. It was after the twins. Yeah, so it was after the twins. So 2019, I believe I was 38.
Okay. Because we're going to do egg retrieval, I think, in like a month or two. And I'm just like thinking, like, what's the expectation for this? I'm just curious.
The only thing that kind of threw me off, just because of being a surrogate prior is with egg retrieval, you actually have anesthesia. You're kind of put to
Really?
sleep. I have a minor fear of that. So
Oh, you don't like anesthesia?
no, honestly, I've just always been nervous that I won't wake back up. But I got through it. I did it. And that's a little bit one of the things that we've been hesitant about because we were considering another egg retrieval or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a little older now. I'm 41 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So time's ticking. We have decisions that we have to make soon.
Yeah, I think we're about the same age.
Okay.
My birthday's in April. When is yours?
July. So right around.
Okay. Yeah, we're really close. And I'm like, let's get these eggs out quickly
Yes, exactly.
before it's too late.
Yes. Yep.
So, how are you preparing for birth? Like, you've been pregnant several times. Do you feel like you need to prepare?
No. From my very first, I was very young. I had just turned 18, and I planned for the epidural. I got the epidural at 5:45 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and he was crowning by 6:05.
Oh my God, stop it.
So after that, I was like, okay, there's no point in, I just have to push through it. And so I did. every kiddo. So my plan each time is not really just get to the hospital.
Time, yeah.
My advice for others is have a hopeful expectation, but stay open-minded because literally anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every pregnancy has its own thing about it, every birth as well.
Mm-hmm.
You just, it's life. You can try to plan, but just stay open-minded.
Yeah. So tell me about your cravings for this last pregnancy.
This one, my most common cravings through the entire thing was string cheese, which I'm thinking maybe I hadn't drank enough milk, so maybe my body was craving that those kind of vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
Graham crackers and Powerade. I had little cravings random here and there, but those were my most steady through the entire thing. Every time I was thirsty, I was like, I need a Powerade. I need some sort of Gatorade, Powerade,
Like maybe your body is asking for electrolytes.
Electrolytes. Yes, yes. Each craving, I think there's some sort of basis to it, The crackers I haven't figured out yet, though.
I mean, graham crackers are delicious anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess classes wise do you take any like with the parents, or do you help prepare the parents in any way during your pregnancy?
No, my most recent, she's around the same age as me, so she was over 40 as well. So she had a book and she listened to podcasts. Yeah, just any kind of social media things that she could do while at the same time as like working or cleaning or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
thankfully we have that these days.
Yes, it's very nice. And what about products? Was there any like products or anything that kind of helped you through pregnancy?
I definitely recommend that seatbelt. It's a little annoying to connect to your seat in the car, but it was my first time using it with this pregnancy as opposed to every single one before that. And I wish I had, just because when you're driving or when you're riding, the seatbelt, especially as your belly gets bigger, it pushes. And I would always find myself sort of loosening the seatbelt and driving with one hand and holding the seatbelt away from my belly with the other. But
Oh gosh.
after I got that seatbelt connector adjuster, I don't know what it's called. It's amazing. That one I definitely recommend. And then after birth, my intended mother, she had gotten me these Hakaa tubes, suction tubes, and it helps draw out the drops of milk in the very first like week or two till your milk is fully produced. Yeah, I think it's called Hakaa something.
Okay, I'll look that up, and we'll probably leave that in the show notes.
Sounds
Hakaa tubes.
Yeah, Hakaa. And they're little suction tubes that you could squeeze when you're trying to like squeeze out the drops of milk. And then it collects it in the small tube.
Interesting. So back to the seatbelt. Does the seatbelt connection like go above your belly, or does it go lower?
Lower. So actually, the belt connects to where you sit. And it makes it so that the seatbelt goes across your chest and then in between your thighs. So it kind of goes across each of your thigh.
Gotcha. That does seem much safer for the baby, so it's not pressure on the baby.
Yeah, exactly. And if, God forbid, there's an accident as well, it doesn't squish or, I don't know. I've never been in an accident pregnant like that, but I can imagine I don't know.
Yeah, that's such a great idea.
Yeah.
How did you stumble upon that?
I think my intended mom showed it to me. She probably found it on social media.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
cool. So let's talk about the birth. How did that start?
So leading up to the last few weeks, me and the intended mom she was very anxious to have baby born, and we were literally trying every single thing that you've ever heard about, any kind of recommendation to get baby out. Every time we would go to the store together, we would talk to cashiers, anybody in line, asking for recommendations, what they've heard of. And so we've tried everything. And
Ooh, what have you tried?
Oh, wow.
That's kind of weird.
Oh, wow. Teas, different exercises. They're not exercises. Like one is a crab walk. Oh, yes. Yeah, where you kind of crouch down on the floor and walk on. Yeah, it's so silly. And what else? The curb walking. You kind of half walk on the side of the curb and half on the street, up, down, up, down. Walking up and down the stairs, quite silly. Like you skip 2 steps with the one leg and skip 1 step with the other leg. Cumin, toasted cumin, I think it was cumin into a tea. Different teas, different foods, drinking a whole container of orange juice all at once.
Whoa.
There's so many. There's so many.
And What week did you start trying these things?
I think it was at 37 weeks.
Okay.
But
That's kind of early. She wanted to really have this baby.
yeah. But I'm here to tell you that it's not like that. It's truly up to your body and the baby.
Uh-huh.
Baby was not born until 39 and 4 days.
She really had to wait.
Yeah, poor thing, poor thing. But we were trying up until birthday.
So what happened that day? Take me through it.
I think it was the day before the doctor did my second membrane sweep. It was either the day before or 2 days prior. And so on birthday, I woke up at, I believe it was 2:45 a.m. and I had contractions. And prior to this, I think I literally had like 2 contractions prior, like
Mm-hmm.
in pregnancy. No Braxton Hicks, nothing.
Wow.
So I just figured it was that. And I waited and I got my little contraction timer on, an app. And every time I felt one, I put it in the app. And by 3:15, I noticed they were quite often. So I woke up my husband. We called the intended mom. She's down the street in a hotel. And during this pregnancy, both me and my husband and the intended parents had a brilliant idea of each buying a house. So we had
Uh-huh.
we had gone through all the drama each. She had moved to a new house. I had moved to a new house. That in itself, I do not recommend during pregnancy.
Yeah, that seems tough and stressful.
Yeah. So in doing so, we now live an hour away from my OB and my hospital. And
Mm-hmm.
so we scooped her up and we got to the hospital. And when we entered the hospital, the security would not let the two of them pass until they showed their COVID vax cards. So they're trying to fumble and take it out of their wallets and purses. And in the meantime, they took me in the wheelchair to the just the little checking station.
Mm-hmm.
And they got me a gown and laid me on the table. And the nurse was like, "Holy cow, your bag is bulging. The baby is right there." And immediately I kind of pushed her away with my feet and crossed my legs. And I said, "I am not doing anything until my husband and the intended mom is in this room." And
Oh, that's funny.
as soon as they peeked around the corner, I was like, "Okay, you guys can pop the bag." And they did. And baby was born by 5:05. So
Whoa.
2:15, no, 2:45 to 3:15, drive to the hospital. I think we got there at 4:30 or 4:45 because we still had to pick up her. So we got to the hospital by 4:45 and 5:05. So 20 minutes from the time I walked in the hospital till birth.
What a dream.
Yeah, it was intense. It was scary in the drive, in getting there. But once I was there, I was thankful. The whole pregnancy, so my prior pregnancy was my first C-section because I had the twins. And
Oh.
it was a different OB per those parents' wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't find out until very late in the pregnancy that OB had a protocol of twins equal C-section, end of story. Like there's no trying vaginal on my watch type of thing.
Surprise.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
So for this pregnancy, I really, really wanted to try for VBAC, vaginal birth after C-section. And yeah, thankfully, I got what I wanted and everything went well. Baby was born healthy and everybody's good.
So the parents made it in and your husband made it in the room.
Yep. Yeah, the intended mom was able to cut the cord.
Oh, how special.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. Picture perfect.
Yeah. So how was recovery for you? How was that different in your 40s than before?
Just I think everything was okay. Just a little bit more tired. Um, I I was pumping milk as well. So that could be it as also because, with pumping milk, you have to wake, at least I did. I would wake up every 3 hours, through the night, 24 hours a day, every 3 hours, faithful.
Uh-huh.
So maybe that's part of it, but you can't give in to that. You have to keep going. You have to keep pushing because you're mom.
Yeah. So I saw one of your Instagram posts said something about the intended mother can breastfeed. Tell me more about that.
Oh, such a wonderful thing. Our bodies are so amazing. So she, during my pregnancy, from early, she started taking vitamins and seeing a lactation consultant. And I don't know the specifics of the vitamins, and I'm not sure if there's medications. I think it's all supplements though. But then around, I think 7 months pregnant, she would start to pump. And yeah, afterwards, after the baby was born, she had her supply frozen and she would alternate it, or I'm not sure, maybe she mixed it, my milk with hers. But she has this small tube system, so that way she can breastfeed and also feed the milk, the frozen milk.
Oh,
And then
through the small
through
tube.
the small tube, it kind of goes in the side of his mouth. And then him sucking would help her supply.
So you're telling me if I take supplements and start pumping,
Mm-hmm.
I can produce milk?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Women's bodies are amazing. It's all hormonal.
Wow.
But yeah.
But how special it is for that intended mom to be able to give that to her new baby.
So special. So
That's
special.
really neat.
It's surreal. It's just amazing. I'm so thankful that she had that decision, and she did such a good job sticking with it. There's a lot of vitamins and supplements, and I mean, I'm talking like maybe 7, 9 per day, maybe even more, but she would just plop them in her mouth and swallow, and I
Wow.
was just amazed because me and pills don't get along. It's very, very difficult for me to swallow a prenatal. And there she is swallowing, 7, 8, 9 all at one shot every day
Wow.
for months and months.
Mothers can be so dedicated. It's beautiful.
Definitely.
Wow. Okay. So you might have plans to have more kids in your 40s.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We've talked about all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping life as is and focusing on us. And I have a senior dog, but we also got a new puppy. She's I think she's 8 months now, a little Pomeranian.
Oh, how fun.
So that's kind of given us a little taste, just a small taste of raising a baby.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We've talked about foster care. We've talked about potentially adoption, and then, of course, the IVF treatment. So completely undecided at this point.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I think so. I actually heard of women doing IVF in their late 40s.
Really?
Like, perhaps I would assume that either it's an egg donor or their eggs were retrieved earlier, but being pregnant and carrying their child in their late 40s. So to me, I have time.
Yeah. It really gives all these women hope, including me.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I kind of want to have 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking, wait, if I calculate it now, that means I could be totally, potentially pregnant at like 43, 44.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the first thing I think of is I'm too old. But late 40s, that sounds amazing.
That is society throwing that in your head.
I think,
right? Because
I think so too.
I don't think we're too old.
I don't think so either. I mean, as long as we take care of our body, I think we can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've even contemplated transferring one of each gender, and, whatever happens, happens. Because if you have twins, I'm a glutton for punishment. If you have twins, you're done. Because I've had so many pregnancies, I don't know if my body will, cooperate for 2 more. But like you, I would love to have 2 as well. If I have any more, I would like to have 2, not just 1.
So they're probably not alone, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's such a gap in your children. It would almost be like 1 kid again.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. It's emotional. It's exciting. It's like every emotion. It's exciting. It's nervousness. It's scary.
Yes. So do you get less scared the more pregnancies you have, or is it the same fear all over again?
No, I think each one had its own challenge and brought out its own like fear, I guess. Worry, but for me, it's always been more the 3rd trimester / birth. Am I going to get there in time? Is everything going to go okay in birth? That sort of thing.
Yeah. So I guess because your pregnancies are so fast, do you ever, I'm sorry, your births are so fast. Do you have any tearing?
No, but I did for my first. And then I think for my first child. And then I think I remember for my second, they cut me so that I wouldn't tear. After that, I don't remember. I remember my first because when I tore, I was also 18. But afterwards in the recovery, it burns when you have to go to the restroom. It burns so in the hospital, they give you this water bottle, that you fill it up with warm water, and then you go to the bathroom and you could use it to squeeze as you're urinating, peeing. And it definitely helps. A quick product recommendation after birth. There's these wipes. Wait, what are they called? Liners? Wipey liners. They're from Frida. It's a purple brand. They're they have witch hazel. The point is they have witch hazel, and you can put them inside your underwear or panty liner, and it cools and it helps with swelling down there. Top recommendation.
Noted. I'll leave that in the show notes also.
Okay. All right.
That's great. Anything else you want to add?
Yes. For conceiving naturally, without IVF, I just want to tell others, don't give up. Even in consulting with an IVF doctor, sometimes the IVF doctor might recommend something that almost seems counterproductive. For example, birth control pills for maybe a month or 2 months. But in the end, it helps conceive. Just don't give up. You know, sometimes the stress and the anxiety of, is it going to happen this month? Do we have to wait another month? You know, sometimes that actually slows down and complicates the pregnancy process. So just stay relaxed, you know, don't give up.
That's such good advice.
Thanks.
And if people want to find out more, where can they go to find you? Instagram, is that the right place?
Yes. Instagram. I can't remember the name for my. I think it's SuroJourney5.
Okay, I'll leave it in the description so we can link to that. No problem.
My Instagram I had started. It's meant for the parents to have a digital copy, but there's, from the very, very beginning, it documents my entire journey. And in the description part, I leave notes that, especially in the very beginning of the process, it can help other intended parents and even surrogates through the process, like through the legal contract and just the injections, all of it.
That's really great. That's really helpful.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Kearie.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad we met.
Yeah, me too. And please keep me posted on your future plans.
Will do. Definitely.